One of the things that we do in algebra is to give names to some of the things that we worked with in arithmetic and describe the systems we see in arithmetic a little bit more carefully. One of the things that we want to name is the different groups of numbers that we work with. The most basic groups of numbers that we work with are the whole numbers and the natural numbers. I'm talking about these two groups of numbers at the same time because they're very similar to each other. Now the natural numbers, or the counting numbers, are the numbers that you're most likely to use if you're answering a question, how many? They're the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Now these numbers do just keep going. Very, very large natural numbers are still natural numbers. So for example, 162, 1,875, and 19,651,000,000. These are all still natural numbers. If you asked someone, how many cats do you have? And they answered 19,651,000,000 cats, you would understand what they meant, even though that answer would be pretty surprising. Now, there's another number that we might use to answer how many, but it doesn't count as a natural number, and that is the number 0. The number 0 is not considered one of the natural numbers. Part of the reason for that is historical. The number 0 didn't come along in history until a long time after people had been working with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 800, and so on for a very, very long time. Another reason is practical. One of the reasons that we give names to these groups of numbers is that we want our numbers to behave in the same way in a certain sense. And 0 behaves a little bit differently than the natural numbers do. What if we want to talk about all of the natural numbers and also 0? Well, there's another name for that group. The collection that we call the whole numbers consists of all of the natural numbers together with 0. So, is that all of the numbers then? No. There are some numbers that don't behave quite this nicely. For example, we have negative numbers. We have fractions, or numbers with fractional parts, or numbers with fractional parts that we express as decimals. And as we move on further in the course, we're going to meet some numbers that aren't even that nice. Numbers like the square root of 3 that turn out to be even more complicated than fractions. All of these are not whole numbers. These do belong to other families of numbers that we're going to meet later on.